In this video, we'll talk a little bit about the alternative bidding strategies. So in the earlier videos, I talked about how you would bid the minimum. In the manual bidding section, you would literally go find what is the minimum bid that you can do. So in this case, it's $7.50, which I'll put in. And that's what I indicated that you would bid. Now, what are some of the other strategies? What are some of the other strategies people try and work with if they didn't have time to look for the quality of the leads, but they just wanted to get started on an initial budget where they are willing to take the best bid? So I've created another campaign just for the purposes of this video. I've got a range of options here. So let's say text ads to start off. The minimum bidding here, let's say, is at, let's just get the number, which is $2. So I can bid a minimum of $2. One of the strategies that recommends setting your bids is to set your bid to 110% of what this original bid is. So if you say they recommend $7.36, you add an extra 10% on top. So let's say if we add an extra around 73 cents, we're looking about $8.10 is what you start off bidding on. And the reason they say that is that because you fall within this range, which is 736, 1179, you fall within that range and you get the higher quality of bids. Now, what LinkedIn will do most often is it will spend a little bit more than that $8.10. We'll take the liberty of spending much more than $8.10. So yeah, you will straight away start seeing some decent quality leads. But remember, remember the reason I don't recommend this strategy is because these are click ads leading to your site. So what happens is they see a great ad on LinkedIn, they click through and they go to your site, which is a completely different landing page experience. And the quality of landing page experience, unless you've done a lot of A/B tests, is usually a hit and a miss. So unless you have a really polished landing page, a really well thought out, A/B tested landing page, this is like paying a really high click for a click rate for something that you haven't even really tried over a longer period of time. So that's one of the strategies. And then a lot of people would obviously opt for impressions, and they'll pay by the impression. So $2.52 per 1,000 impressions. And the reason they would do that is because if you are confident that you're going to get a higher click-through rate, then this will lead to maximum exposure on the LinkedIn medium. So again, what they'll do is they'll take that, take the 252 and add an extra 10% on top, which will be about 275 or 277-ish to start running the campaign. So again, 30 days impressions up to about $150,000, sorry, with a 0.17 as the good CTR. So that's one of the other strategies. You could also, if you're running an event ad, for an example, you would also have the option of target cost. So you can specify, target cost for you to convert somebody from your landing page. And if you set that to, let's say, 1532, which is what they recommend, again, if you add an extra 10% on top, you're looking about 1.53 on top, so about 1705 as the option to bid on the target cost basis. Now, what's happening here is that they go to your landing page, and then they'll end up converting. One of the biggest challenges with LinkedIn is really bad at attribution, and especially after the recent change in the way tracking works, and especially how LinkedIn tracks using cookies, you might only end up looking at about 50% of actual conversions. So even if, let's say LinkedIn has given you 10 conversions in a period of 30 days, Google Analytics, for an example, will only track about 5, and so will LinkedIn. Google Analytics might track 10, but LinkedIn will end up tracking only 5 conversions over that period of time. So just be really careful on how you go about bidding, on what your strategy is in terms of bidding. If you don't have the time and patience and you really want to start getting results, then you can go to the minimum bid. So in this case, it's, let's say, 750, and then raise it about 30 to 40%. So 750 raised to about 30 to 40% is about $10, right? And that's how you would go off starting, because that will set a base mark of getting you the high quality leads. You also get the option with the event ads to enable bid adjustments for high value clicks. So that again takes it to 45% higher than what you've specified. So that click might go all the way to $14.50. So don't go by what LinkedIn recommends in these texts. Obviously there's a strategy for 110%, there's a strategy for 150%, some even recommend going about 75%. But again, it's really a sort of a trial and error, and especially if you're working with a very small budget, I recommend starting off very low to establish whether your targeting is set properly, whether the quality of the leads coming through are the right sort of quality, and so on and so forth.